Good morning, guys. September 17th here in the trading room from tradingology.com. Andre and Anura. Good morning, guys. How you guys doing this fine Tuesday? Recording's going. We're good to rock. Testing out a new little view. I'm always tweaking, right? We're always seeing what looks good. Hey, good morning, Mike. How you doing? Excellent, excellent. We'll cover the spreadsheet. Hey, good morning, Mark. Not sure if Dave's making it, so I get to carry the weight today, so we may end up having a shorter one since I'm not the prophet like he is, but we'll do our best. We'll definitely review the Vol-Arb this morning, take a look at how it's lining up and working with Eric's contributions. Interesting to watch it live while you're in the charts. Anybody using this yet or set up their charts to look at what Eric shared with us last week? Oh, I have two different things going on here. Yeah, thanks, man. Somehow that one switched. I got Z's everywhere else. See? Oh, just Z's not going to work, though, is it? There we go. See if I miss anywhere else. Yes, Z, YMZ, yes, Z. Yep, where's Z's everywhere else? Okay. I was just checking your eyes and to see if you were paying attention. So this morning, we'll just pull up the spreadsheet first. Quick to look at that, our new version 2. Anura did comment in the private client trading room. We got two negatives with a negative, which is I've thrown on here. I've been doing some research on this, so if they do, is that a signal to go the other direction? So we'll see how today ends out, because the one thing I do watch for, and I have looked at this historically when they have happened, is sometimes if they're smaller, it's not as good of a signal. So I'm just going to keep my eye on those. There's an 8. 18 was a little bit better, but if we're right around that zero mark, if the spread's almost hardly anything, I don't carry as much weight with it yet. That's what I was talking about there. So definitely something to keep your eye on. I'll color this in so it does look the same. But yeah, it's good one to key off. So good job seeing that guy. Because normally when we see both negative, it's the reverse on the spread, right? Just like when we're both positive, it's reverse. So that's what's common. So what I did when Dave first came out with this spreadsheet is I went through and I said, okay, if that wasn't true, what happened? So here I've marked on, long, short, L and S. And if it failed, I threw a fail in front of it. So here when we were short, expecting to long, and it failed the next day. So that's what those are all about. So yeah, good call seeing that. Looking at the bell curve, we went from a 2 to a 4. First column did fill out on the binary trend, so a little bit of conflict there where we have up bias on the cumulative bell and a potential down bias for down starting on the binary trend. Cross column, 6 to a 7, so that's also up. And we're getting to a point where we're double digits now, and looking historically too. That's one thing Dave's always taught us, right, is what's our recent peaks? So we had a peak right around 8 on the negative side. We only had the one little blip of a 6 in the middle here, where that 1% day, that was kind of an anomaly in the middle of that downward move. Then we had a 14, 15 to the negative side, but we haven't had a large, anything over, here's a 9 that happened in the middle of that move there. At the end of it, it looks like a fat tail coming down. So very potentially this is could be the top. Looking at the cross column bell curve. Say that twice fast. Grab some coffee. So looking at this guy, we had a little bit of conflict, some up. Overall potential for one more up. Looking for maybe a peak. And then looking at the 4 hours, this is where we had definitely a potential continuation. So adding up, here we got a 05, and a 1.7. Looking at these numbers right here, we got a 0.22 coming into the open, and usually we're keying around, the 0.25. So it's like, definitely setting up for a potential continuation. But as we see currently right now, it is down from the morning. Yesterday we started up on a Monday, and I turned on the computer, whatever it was yesterday, and I saw that we had a massive move prior. So it was actually Sunday night, but a huge 0.61. For some reason, I thought this said a 6.1 earlier, so it says 6.0 right now. It's my eyes going bad. Or no, it is just a +6. So there we go. So whenever we have any type of out of the normal movements, I'm always cautious for the following day, unless it's all in the same direction and we can see a continuation is absolutely most likely the top. So yeah, that's what I was looking at in New Rug, was that one. So it was, huge move up, coming back down. So this one could have went either way in my mind as well. So that's what I look at. So whenever there's, so at the end of the day, long story short, if it's not small movements, like that's typical overnight, that's cause for pause or cause for caution or whatever that cool line is that I can't think of. Because normally it's, the smaller numbers that we see, right, or smaller bars overnight. That looks like an opening bar. That's definitely unusual for overnight. So keep your eye out for that if you ever see those. And also watching, so I tweaked it for the 3. I took off the RTYs. So watching both the tick charts and the 10-minute charts. As Sham says, brother from another mother. You got it. The Sham's been watching Brad Kimes. He's a great guy to follow on YouTube and Twitter if you guys haven't yet. I know you've heard us talk about crypto. That's another big one. And Andrew's planning a program to signal for us for the Vol-Arb. I haven't talked to Andrew one-on-one yet over the weekend. I knew he was busy, so if Dave and Andrew have had talks since we were last on, I'm not sure. Dave's traveling this week, which is why he's not on. So he's down by the DC area, and he is going to be on Brad's show tonight. I believe it's 8:30 Eastern, or excuse me, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, I believe. But if you guys haven't seen it yet, you'll catch it on YouTube. He should be on live with Brad. And just on a side note there, pull up the other chart here. Dun, 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 dun. Just watching. There we go. XRP's been hanging around 25 forever, making a nice little move yesterday. Today it's up almost 5% right now on the day, starting to take a turn up. So she's looking better. As we know, not one of those. You should have joined him there, Sham. Yeah, I'm not on the East Coast, but maybe one of these days we'll have a trifecta meetup. We'll see. But yeah, I'm sure they're all happy today, and Brad's live right now as well. So back up Bradley at Twitter if you haven't followed him yet. He's a great guy, and the more I watch him, the more I enjoy him. So he's got his head on straight. We're not expecting it to be today or tomorrow, but we're prepared if it is. So watching the charts here, I was kind of feeling like this was another way to, get your higher time frame, then also playing the moves on the tick chart. So if you can see what the bias is for the longer term here on the 10-minute, get this so I can actually see the bottom of the chart again. Looking for daily opportunities. So if we're moving one way on the 10-minute, then the Renko lines up, that's a nice signal. So right now we got a bunch of up volume on all of them. Get this guy back in play. They don't always have to both be, but if they are both lined up, that's the nice signals. If you're playing those together. Voltaire, good morning, Voltaire. So you use tick charts to 10-minute for intraday? I am, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that's kind of a conflict, right? An intraday swing trade. But it's possible, yeah. Whatever you want to call it, you bet. So I'll typically trade off of the tick chart for the smaller moves, quick scalping, and I can see on the 10-minute if it's in that direction, it'll keep me confidence to stay in it longer as it goes through the ebbs and flows. But I'll typically just be short scalp trades. Or if you just want to trade off to 10, you can absolutely do that. So as I mentioned, I think it was late Thursday, just when we were closing it out. The key here, guys, is just to find what's working for you and don't overcomplicate it. You know, we have tons of indicators. Don't blow your head up trying to put them all together, but whatever makes sense to you. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Yeah, just experiment. Find what's he says it's a good balance between the two of them. Absolutely. And it depends on your day, right? Hey, if you don't have time, you want to get in a quick trade, take charge help. But if you got more time, because not everybody has the same amount of time to watch the charts. So craft your trading to your style. That's the key. And at least have some fun with it. Don't, if you're overstressed, you're over leveraged. So keep the stress levels low. Should be fun. Should be profitable. The old MD market timer strength and supply demand, is that still useful for the new swing scripts? A combination thereof, or maybe just the strength indicator to look at the momentum of the move. Absolutely, you can use it for same kind of thing. So I was actually thinking about it just yesterday. So it's funny you say that, Sean, where I was debating on, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll overlay the strength here just so I can see it at the same time, because I do have, the other charts that I don't look at all the time, but they are never far away, where I can see, here we see definite, that's not even tuned in, so I'm not looking at it today, but I can pull it up, make it bigger, where I do have it overlaid in here, the strengths, the ribbons, the BOP curves. These are all still valid. So it all comes down to monitor real estate. So if you have room, you can have that sitting on some monitor where you look to for confirmations of whatever you're seeing at the same time. So if, here it looks like we absolutely got MT volatilities rising. The bears are filling out. BOP curves on the rise. So if we see way above the curve, this is SPX, so I'll look at ES, we get above the curve, good chances of we're going to take a downturn. So yeah, strength and demand still, you bet, they can help you stay in a trade longer. So here we see it's up, looking for it down. There's definitely a potential for a short coming there. I'd be looking for, this bar just went higher on the 10 minutes, so it's not something I would jump in immediately until I would see this come down and get a potential down signal here. If they'd all line up for a longer term trade is what I'd be looking for. And we see this is coming up to a 5, which is where it hasn't pierced that. Just for levels for the ebbs and flows, right? As it goes up and down, we're above the bell curve coming up. So it's potential for a short setup coming there on the ES. This continues to build up to 120 there. It actually broke through. And those are different than the SRs. So remember, that's key is remember which ones you're looking at and how you use them. So long answer for your question there, Sean, but yeah, the answer is yes, still valid, and it'll help you. So if you see ST, especially when they hit extremes, the more extremes they are, the better. If we're small numbers in the ST, like a 1, that's less credence, but the higher they get, the more weight they carry, right? So here we're kind of coming down now, so we see it setting up. Definite short potential there. We'll just throw on. I'm clicking this just to see how it lines up for us. Oh, see, I don't even have that chart fixed yet. Fix that while I'm right here. Garbage. You can tell I was just modifying my charts. Let's get that out of here. Get that out of there. No flatten, no reverse. Everyone has their own. Use the ones that you want. And I need the quantity. See, auto send wasn't on. There we got the nice confirming down up above on the tick. So here's where we're gonna. So now we're down in the Renko cloud, so it's actually close for me to actually, you know, we're gonna be borderline. We're up only, you know, one tick right now, so we'll see what happens here quick. Little test while we're there. Not a financial advisor, don't follow me. I'm just showing you how things work, as you guys know, but we got to say it just to be sure. So what I'd like to see is this build out continue, which is nice right there. We see it coming down, -2, -3, moving down. So there's nothing. So now we're below. So conservative would be to pull this off right away. We'll just let it ride to see how we're doing. Same thing rides here. So look at historically, what have we been doing? One time we poked down to a 5 here. So it hasn't been a ton of volume yet on this fine Tuesday. We're up a couple ticks there. 1, 2, 3, 2 right now. So, you know, as you're scalping, that's how I would play that. We'll just keep letting this fly here a little bit. We'll see where it goes. Longer term, if this builds up, it's not something I want to see, so I could definitely reverse. But here we see on the tick chart, it is still negative volume. Renko cloud's turning red, so that's a good sign. But as it gets below, we'd like to see it get below the cloud there if it's going to be red to stay in the trade. And we'd like to see this come down and start to be a red number for a swing trade. Get some negative volume coming in here is what we want to see. It doesn't look like it might not be going further. And this is where you can start putting in, obviously I don't trade this for the real, so don't have the ladder perfectly set up here. Where you can put in, you know, the trailing stop. Yeah, see, we're still, that's not coming down. Expand this out a little bit, guys. Hopefully you guys can see this. Oh, what do we got here? Swing scripts contain a combination of BOP except for the SDs. The SDs and SDs came with, I think it was the original bundle, if I remember right. Or the original premium scripts is where the SDs came from. The regular market timer gets the market timer XL, the very first script. Hence the thinking of using the ST. Yeah, you got it, Asham. That's not bad at all. Voltaire says 4 hour, 1 hour, and 10-minute while using 500 ticks and 250. Yeah, if you're doing the micros, definitely 250 ticks. Good call, nice reminder. Multiply that by the YMNQ and ES, and it gets too confusing. So yeah, exactly. Simplify, simplify, find what works for you. And yeah, volume's coming back, so we'll pull that guy off. Small profit, 37.50. If this was continuing down, I would probably stay in it. Normally as I'm doing my own stuff, but that's quickly how I do the scalping. Is I look for opportunities when you're above. Movement of down, so now it's actually right in the middle here, so that's why this is where what we call the fair price value. So that's why I got out of that trade too. So the more you get, or the more confidence and the more time you get in the seat, you can always switch that to multiple contracts, multiple micros, make it fit what your goals are. And whatever works, so you can trade any one of the three. You can trade all three. We've seen Dave, you know, be in the whole market because we don't know, hey, if the market's going to trend up or the whole market's going to trend down. We don't know who the strongest horse is always going to be, so we've seen him take trades on all 4 of them, right? So I've only done that a handful of times personally. Again, it all depends on what you want to do. Less I would do in the scalping, obviously, you know, if you see, hey, here's an opportunity, excuse me, on ES, occasionally, especially with tick charts, they're not always going to line up. But if you're seeing opportunities on the 10 minutes, it's very possible you could see them line up on the other indexes. So that's, yeah, something to keep your eye out on. The more experience you get, the more stuff you can look for. But as we heard Voltaire just mention, don't overload yourself. Don't get too confused. So there we go. Jumped right up. We got out when we were still profitable. So that's the key, is not there's a nice up signal. So that was exact reverse setup there. It would have been really hard to probably get a entry below that, since that's, you know, only a quarter. That's one tick below the wrinkle cloud. But that is the setup is below the cloud, rising volume, and then the confirmation signal for a long. So after I took that short, I could have absolutely taken a long. I don't personally do that, but it is feasibly possible. You know, you can trade it up, you can trade it down, you can trade the ebbs and flows all day long using the tick charts. Just don't overtrade yourself, because if you suddenly have too much commissions and you're not making profits, it's not a good day. All right. Any questions that you guys have on anything? Again, this is always your time. V asked, when can we expect the Trading 101 course? We are in the process of setting dates. We're probably going to do the first one live. We haven't set the exact date yet. So stay tuned on that. I don't have an answer for you yet, V. And with Dave traveling, I have less. So we'll see. And I don't believe I got any email questions. Kevin's going to tell me on the recording. Is Kevin on? Kevin is not on. I think Kevin's usually traveling, but he catches recordings. How do I shade the columns in my charts on the 4-hour? We'll pull the 4-hour over. When you say shade the columns, are you talking about this lighter shading and the darker shading? That is a very simple answer for you, sir. I'll expand it a little bit here so I can see the gears. Go to the gear. We're on futures contracts, so go to the futures tab. That's where you highlight the extended hours trading session, is what does that. So if I uncheck that, click apply, shades are gone. So you have to be showing the extended hours, then you have to highlight them. That's how you see that. And see, now it's coming green. Conflict, conflict. You are welcome, sir. Anybody else? I like the easy ones. You know, for anyone that has ever hosted stuff, I'll tell you, Dave's got some big shoes, man. I'm doing my best for you guys. It's easy when he just talks and I sit here and be the sidekick. Tough when you got to be the only one talking. And I've noticed I could drink a lot more coffee because I got to keep hydrated. The Sham, you got a question above on strong market. Did I miss one, sir? What was it? I can try and answer it since I do work with the guys a lot. And obviously we know who runs it. Is there a possibility for them to run a live trade room? I saw it in an email, but I think they had a survey going to find out. I have no idea, actually. I didn't even see that email if there was a poll. So that is brand new. So that one I can't answer. That would be interesting. You didn't like my live trade right there just to make 37.50? That wasn't enough for you? I had a nice ES trade for you. Then the reverse just blew up. Look at that. Bam. Oh, here's the quote from it. We are considering offering a live trading room if you are either in these situations or if you just want to join the fun. Interesting. Very interesting. News to me, sir. So, oh, you got the whole thing there. When did you get that one? Or, oh, that came out last month. That's when I was on the road. That's why I didn't see it. That makes sense now. Gotcha. Well, I will definitely do some checking on that. That's stuck in my hundreds of emails that I didn't weed through. All right, so what are we doing in the overall market? 0.1202. ES is pretty much flat right now, trying to go higher. It was for a second. Now we got the whole oil embargo, or not embargo, sorry, but Saudi Arabia and oil reserves, oil jumping. Hopefully no one's trading CL in here because you might be losing your hair right now if you have any left. I will pass it along, Hisham, or you know how to get a hold of them too. If that's something they're gonna, I guess it depends on what kind of response they got. For giggles, I haven't looked in so long. I'm just kind of curious now. I'm gonna, let's see, who do I want to duplicate and use? As if we don't have enough charts, I would say let's just make another one, detach it. That's how I lose track of my charts. Just because I'm curious. And the news happened and all this oil stuff, which is rare. I'm gonna pull up a chart of CL and see what's going on. October, we don't want October. Oh yeah, I remember CL now. Look at that nice gap on the open. And let's see, this is a daily chart. So yeah, that happened over the weekend. Bam. Yesterday was massively up. Today's coming down. 58. What happened over here? This has got to be a glitch. I don't know what's going on there. Price did not go to zero that I know of. That must be the cloud trying to draw something where it starts. It's 120 segments or whatever. Always going to be. Look at these moves. I don't remember. Did anybody remember what the tick size is on CL? So now we're just getting crazy talk. Yeah, 54, almost a $10 barrel swing there, or $10 swing itself. $10 a tick, thanks. That's quite the gap up. And quite the move down today. So gap up overnight. Bam, returned overnight. Interesting there during the day. Yeah, you want to trade? How about that roller coaster? 5-minute chart. No, thank you. No, thank you. So that's, and the ticks are a penny. So $10 a penny. If you're right there, Sham, with $10 ticks, right? So yeah, if you're trading this 5-minute bar went from 61.40 to 59.25, $2 times, so that's 200 ticks. So that's $2,000 if you're wrong or right. No, thank you. I'm not that young anymore. Wow. Yeah, let's just get that rid. We'll just close that one out. Come back to reality. All right. Message sent. He's on the game. Good job, Sham. There you go. $1 a tick instead of $10. You never know. They might see if they bring out Mike. There probably isn't enough volume or enough market for it. That's the trick. That might be depends on who hosts it too, right? Which exchange? Anyway, look. I'm not going to pull it back up, but I suppose I can just throw it over here and see it. Whether that's on Globex or ECBot, NYMEX. So that's on the NYMEX exchange. So there you go. That'd be up to them. All right, what do we got over here? Dun, 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 dun. I came across gold the other day and then discovered that they had a micro for gold as well, MGC. Very nice. A micro on gold? I didn't hear about any other micros. Or is it new or old? Vanguard Mega Cap Index ETF. So apparently I have to put the slash on it. Is it a futures contract? There we go. E-micro gold futures. December. Do I not have options to look at? Are you sure it's a micro? Looks like it's just, oh yeah, it does say e-micro. There you go. I see the description now. Still floating right around 1,500. Oh, looks like it's had quite a run up to 1,500. Interesting. Oh, it's been there since a month and a half. We've been floating around. I'll bring it over here so you guys can see it. Z contract on the, you see there's a nice, if anybody's asking, this is where you see it in the gears where it shows rollovers. So this is when the Z came, since we had rollover last week. As I got called out, if you're not yet, make sure you're all on Z contracts. So 1420 down here up to 1550, 1560, give or take. So the more the market gets in trouble, the higher gold's going to go in silver. So there's a E-micro gold field futures if you don't want to trade the ETFs and whatnot. It have the benefits of futures. So good job there, Sean. We haven't pulled it up before. Sim testing it in trading hours. Looks like it's good to take these opportunities. Nice, nice. Yeah, if the indexes aren't your cup of tea, find what you want to trade. At the end of the day, we're just trying to help make you more profitable, give you the right strategies for it. Let's see, there's a classic, another one on the 10-minute chart there. Above, red arrows forming, nice short on the ES. When the tick chart was up here, the tick chart's up here. There's another one just like we did earlier in the day, or early in the hour, guys. Happened again right there. Now we see the 10-minute line up and we see a negative volume coming in. So this one's probably going to move a lot better down than we got before with our, couple, 3 ticks. Just doing some quick scalping. So another nice little setup there. You're welcome, Asham. I will get it rendered and uploaded as soon as I can so you can catch that first 10 to 15 minutes. Absolutely. All right, guys. Any questions? We'll probably call this one a wrap. And then if you got anything that you didn't think of and you want answered for Thursday, shoot me an email and I'll do my best to get it in. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. My first time of running the whole show. I can't believe I almost went an hour. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Glenn. You're welcome, Voltaire. Anurag. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. V. I'll be hitting you up, V. Take care, Eric. I appreciate it, man. You have a great day, too.